Hi, Helen.
Hi, Sydney. Okay, so the title of my poem was The Never Not Song by Robert Frost.
What was your first impression of this poem?
Well, the first impression of the title was that it was not spelled differently. It's like Naught, and so that kind of threw me off. And then I had
Did
to,
you search the meaning of that?
yeah. And
What did
then
you discover?
it ended up being that it meant nothing. So it was kind of like a never nothing song. Which was
Oh,
cool.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It adds given meaning to it, hidden meaning.
Yeah. And then overall, at first it was kind of hard to understand, but then as soon as you Googled references and all that stuff, it made perfect sense.
So, what were the references to the scientific meaning?
Well, he made a reference to atomic theory, which was made, I think, the same year, around the same time that he wrote this poem. And then he talks about, and then he talks about hydrogen. Oh, okay, so he talks about the atomic theory and then hydrogen, which kind of leads to another subtopic, I guess. He talks about hydrogen, which is a one particle atom, all the way to man, which is extremely not that they're both not complex, but men are definitely a lot more complicated. And then he also references a lot about to nature, because he lived nature, and he talks about a bowl and a branch, which is the trunk and all the tree stuff, branches, which kind of symbolize thought and how it can expand in so many different ways and so many different meanings and all that fun stuff. Oh, and he also references a Yggdrasil, which is, it's like a tree of thought. And where is, I feel like it's from not from the mythology, but some other type of thing.
Okay, and what do you think the overall meaning of the poem was?
Okay, so for the overall meaning,
Because at first I was kind of confused about it, and it kind of led me to believe it was about us a scientific excursion.
it's not. I mean, it's not really about that. It's kind of just. It has just that's just an example of what the overall meaning is, and then what the overall meaning is that. Well, the first two lines of the poem was, there was never not, there was always thought. And if you replace not with nothing, it's, there was never nothing, there was always thought. So he's kind of saying throughout, for ever, there was always thought. And so thought is in nature, man,
It's an overwhelming sense that there's always going to be innovation.
no, he's talking about how, okay, so when he says atomic theory, he's mentioning that they just figured it out, but it's always been there. So he's saying that thought was always in nature, and that man just
needs to discover.
Yeah, basically. What else? What else? Yeah, and then the thoughts that you come up with are so epic that they can change things. And although it may not be physical and you can see it, it's still, overall